Dan, I'm going to begin today's episode with a compliment.
Oh, I like it. Nice. Let me have it.
I love the shirt that you're wearing.
Well, that is, that's because it's a nice looking shirt.
It is a beautiful shirt, and it's an inspirational message on the front of it.
It is. And you know what else? I was
Yeah.
asked about this today
earlier.
I went to the back to school orientation, and my son's teacher, in fact, asked me about the International Firewood Expo.
Oh, yeah?
And that just gave away the shirt that I'm wearing. So there you go.
Is he or she a fan of the International Firewood Expo?
I don't think so, because he asked me, is that really a thing?
What the heck?
I know.
I'm going to the school board now.
But he said, I told him it is, and it was, and it will be.
It is not a thing. It is the thing.
The thing. There you go.
Or here in Ohio, it is the thing. Yeah.
Right.
What the heck?
Yeah.
All right.
So
Well, I hope
told
you
him,
can educate that educator up there.
Yep. I told him all about it, what happened down in Ohio last spring, and I told him it's happening again, next year, 2025. So, but yeah, he asked about it, so he noticed it.
Okay. Well, that's because it's a gorgeous shirt. Jeez.
Yeah.
I was at a minor league ball game. We have a minor league ball team down here in the Mahoning Valley, and I was in line for my Dr. Pepper and chili dog when here comes a fine-looking young man walking past me with his International Firewood Expo t-shirt on.
Nice.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Love it.
And did he recognize you?
He did, and him and his wife. His wife came to the show, but he wasn't able. I think he had to work. But she bought him a T-shirt. All he got. His wife went to the International Firewood Expo, and all he got was a lousy T-shirt.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, you had mentioned the expo, so nothing is finite yet, but that is what I'm looking at doing, is holding it again, and there might be some changes to it.
Yeah, you have things in the works, right?
Yeah.
Sort of.
I'm still, what's that? When you're sticking your toe in the water.
Yeah, dabbling.
To make sure it's safe to dive in. So there might be a slight, and I'm using my air quotes here, a slight change to the show for next year, but it would be an awesome change. But that remains to be seen.
But either way, you're having it.
I think there will be something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, but when you lead with the term international, kind of ups the game, don't you think?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, kind of ups the game. Yeah, so there was a international show for the timber industry over the weekend. It was in Finland, and I was not there. It was one of those scheduling things, but there were two new machines released by the TP Silva Oy company from Finland.
I saw that.
That got a lot of got a lot of people's attention, and those were the machines that I had seen with my own eyes when I was in Germany, and that was the reason I was there.
Oh,
to see the prototypes, and I have video. Once I get permission to post it, I will whip together a video that will show that X firewood factory. Wow.
Yeah.
That was the machine in my video. I had said I was looking at it and I couldn't take my eyes off of it.
That thing looks very interesting. I'm very intrigued. The one thing I noticed again from the Palax to the Yappa was that the only real difference seems to be the direction of the workflow.
No, well, yes, with the traditional processors.
Well,
there's three of them.
It comes in one side. It comes in like the Yappa looked like it fed in from the left and went out the right, and then the Palax fit in from the right and went out the left.
Yeah, I think because it's all modular, I think that is because of the way they had it sitting.
Oh, okay, that could be.
Yeah. Um, TP Silva has the three companies, Yappa, Pollux, and Hacky Pilkey. So
Yes.
that new X firewood factory it can be, what vendor you would buy it off of, if what dealer you would buy it off of, that would determine the brand name.
Yep. But
Yeah,
wow,
for
yeah, that thing looked like it was handling some very large rounds
yeah.
and just putting out firewood at a pace I've not seen.
Uh-huh. And when I was looking at it, I was thinking, well, what's gonna do when it jams? And then I was watching, I was like, this thing isn't gonna jam.
It never
There was
jams.
no, there was a log, a good sized round that fell over and landed on its side. And I was like, hey, shut it down. And they was like, no, let's see what happens. Cause this was the prototype. Yeah, it just went right through it sideways. Yeah, it
Oh,
did.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's I'm really looking forward to seeing more of that.
Well, I had just reviewed the video because it was when we were filming it. Like the guy shut it down right in the middle of it when I was filming. He was the guy that didn't speak English, and he had his own stuff going on. And there was another guy from the company who was like IT, and they were sending like updates through the modem to it. So like right when I was
Oh,
filming everything, they shut it down. I was like, well,
yep.
this isn't any fun. But and then the other times is when I was out doing my own videos, filming the other Palex machines while I was there. So nothing goes to plan, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Such are such are the hazards of a YouTube channel.
Yes, exactly.
Hmm.
Nothing ever goes as planned.
Yeah. And well, first let's just say hello to everyone out there and thank you for tuning in to the Woodhounds. We are the number one firewood podcast in the world. My name is Joe. I am a professional firewood delivery service. And the gentleman sitting next to me with his good looking shirt is.
A professional hobbyist that goes by the name of Dan from Back 40 Firewood.
Yeah. And if you are new to the Woodhounds podcast, you may be wondering why we always play a jingle after we say the word of the millennia. Um, Hobbyist. I would like to say it's an inside joke, and Dan would like to say it is not an inside joke. It is an overt joke, but whatever. We started it and we're going to run with it until as long as the Woodhounds podcast goes on.
One day we may reveal the true origins.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe not. You just have to
Hmm.
stay tuned to find out.
Yeah. But as I said, such are the hazards of a YouTube channel. There were a couple. Now, we mentioned something in a previous episode. Was it our last episode about the lawsuit?
Yeah, it was one of the previous ones.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think maybe last one.
The hazards of being a YouTube channel. So this came out of the solar niche. I don't like that word. Niche. I like that word better. But the solar channels, there is a lot. It is a much bigger footprint on YouTube than like firewood. You know, it's not like automobiles and stuff, but there's a lot of big, high profile channels on YouTube that do solar. And this did not happen in the United States, but it kind of has trickled into the United States. So this channel did a review on, I don't know what it was, probably a battery or just some type of solar device. Did he buy it? Do you remember that, or was
I
it given
thought he
to him?
did. I thought he did, but I'm not
He
100% sure.
he bought it. So that would be like, you bought your pickup truck and you do a video about how this thing's a piece of junk, and
Yeah.
then Ford sues you. Is really what it comes down to, wasn't it?
Right.
Because this guy, okay, whatever. If he was given this item or if he bought it, he did what he is arguing was an honest review. He said things about it that were good. He said things about it that were bad. So the company thanked him by suing him for defamation of character.
Thank you. Here you go.
Holy cow. Yeah. And it made me stop for a second because now there are channels that I watch that do reviews, and I mean, they are brutal with them. And that's just not my style. I have made critical comments about stuff in the past, but I've never like condemned anything. I don't know. It's just the way I am. I default to being polite,
Yeah.
but it made me think. Now, again, this isn't in the United States. So in the USA, we have this thing with slander or liable, which is truth is a defense, which I don't know if that's the case though in Australia. I'm probably, there's probably people in Australia right now screaming into screaming into their cell phone right now listening to this, but there seems to be a different standard in different countries. But I have heard other people like this other solar channel. It's just because I listen to him so much, where he did a review. He cut open a battery and he found a wire that was like crimped and was getting ready to break. And he was like, holy cow, this is bad quality control. And like the company sent him a nasty letter saying that that could not have happened when they made it. It had to have happened when he opened the battery box, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
And
yeah,
he was saying there is no way because I did it on video, I got proof, but
yeah.
it never got to like a lawsuit. But man, have you ever thought about that though, Dan? About stuff going south like that?
I have not. Not until this came up and was put on my radar. But I'm kind of the same way. If I review something, I'll point out what I liked about it. I might, like say something like, it's up to you to try this out and see, but I'll never like purposely, I don't know, slam something, you know.
Yeah, or be dishonest.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
right.
Yeah, for instance, the super splitter. I bought my super splitter. I run it a lot on my channel and I think it is awesome. But I don't ever say anything bad about it. But what I do say is that this may or may not be the right splitter for you because, it does some things great. And then for like other things, it's probably not the right tool. Now that I say that, probably I'm getting someone's firing off a letter to me right now. So
Right.
yeah,
They're
but
saying,
that's
what?
just an example. Yeah, I just want to say I think the super splitter is awesome. Okay. But I'm just saying, what if you start, what are there rules out there that protect? There was another incident, and I forwarded this one to you too. The home inspector. There is this home inspector in Arizona, and his channel is he films home inspections that he does, and he does new construction. So like the builder builds the home, they sell it to the customer, and then the customer will call to get a home inspection, a third
Yes.
party, because they don't want to trust the builder's inspectors. So this guy goes out to brand new homes, and he's just finding just shoddy workmanship. He's up in the attic, and there's like roof trusses that are broken in half. You know, there's there's sections of the roof where there's no shingles even laid; it's just bare plywood. Just crazy stuff. Broken floor tiles, and the like. So he does the videos, and he's posting this, and I don't think he says this company's name, but it's like a national builder that builds these houses, and they filed a complaint against the guy and tried to have his license taken from him.
Wow. I was just going to ask, does he disclose who the builders were, or does he just show what they did? Because that would be the main thing. I
Yeah,
mean,
I gosh, I feel dumb right now because I'm serious. I've watched probably 100 of his videos. He does a lot of shorts. They're really good. And um, I couldn't tell you if he does or not, or if he's like, one of their billboards is in the background, or he might like speak cryptically so that you know exactly who he's talking
mm,
about if you lived in that
yeah,
area.
yeah.
But now I know the name of the company. I've never heard of them. but they're a big national uh, company, and they build houses mostly out west, but there were some in the Midwest, I think Indiana or something like that. Yeah, but they filed a complaint with the license, the bureau that
Jeez.
own, that does the license for home inspectors, and they went right after his livelihood, to
Wow.
to take away his license so he couldn't practice anymore. So this guy has the video because it's all public information. He got the video of the hearing, and this company sent their lawyer, and then they had the guy give his side of the story, and then the board deliberated right in front of everyone, and they all voted in favor of the inspector
Yeah.
because he wasn't lying. He didn't make any of these problems up.
Exactly. I was just going to say, I mean, if he has the video showing what he's describing as being faulty and not correct or whatever,
Yeah,
what is there, what is there to go after him against?
yeah, I know, and that's embar- and that's em-
Yeah,
it's
it's
embarrassing
terrible.
for it's embarrassing for the company that if this guy is routinely finding problems, and if you were to watch his channel is Sci-Fi, I think is the name. His first name is Cy, CYFY, Sci-Fi Home Inspections, and he's just a simple guy, and he just walks around, and his videos aren't highly edited, and he'll just walk around, hey, I'm doing, like he did. He showed there was this big cinder block retaining wall, and he's pushing on it, and he could have literally pushed it over. And the house was inspected by the city, and passed, and the
Ooh,
customer bought it and moved into it, and he's pushing on this cinder block wall, and it could literally fall over if he pushed a little bit harder.
jeepers.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. What is it with some of these companies where if someone were to publicly shame me, I would fix it? I mean, this
Yeah,
is feedback,
right.
regardless of how you're receiving it. That's feedback. Guess what? I'm fixing it. What kind of a chump, you know, do you attack the messenger? Is what, oh my gosh,
One
that's
that
what I was,
knows they're wrong and one that knows they've done it many, 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 many times.
yeah.
Because
And,
that's what,
and then, and then they try to take the guy's livelihood from him, and then they lose unanimously.
yeah,
I would just be so embarrassed.
yeah. At that point, the settlement should be quadrupled in, the other guy's favor. Like the company should have to
Yeah.
pay 4 times as much.
Well, yeah. Well, this wasn't a lawsuit. I guess they could still sue this kid. And this is
Yeah,
one of these David and Goliath things, which gets back to this YouTuber in Australia, you
right.
know?
Yeah. Big company. They have the attorneys on, payroll ready to go after stuff like that. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, these, gosh, that gets into, like, I remember tort reform. There used to be one of these, oh, everyone's out there suing everyone, and
Oh
I
my.
got I got opinions on this. I might be wrong, but I think I'm right. That these people, I used to work with this guy, and he would always, because there'd always be, we were in the business of, we were on the other end of the employment thing where we were investigating employees, then they would get fired. And he would always mock these people, with that, when they get, oh, he's going to sue, or oh, look, he got his lawyer, oh, everyone's got to sue, everyone's got to sue.
Lawyer up. Lawyer up.
Yeah. And then anyhow, this guy got in trouble at work one time, and guess what he did?
He's suing
What?
him.
Yeah, went
Yeah.
right to the went
Yep.
right to the lawyer. It's like, gosh, that is my opinion, is that, like, the people that live in fear, or they don't start a business because they're afraid of getting sued, they're usually the ones that will sue you first,
Right away.
because it's
Yeah.
it's on their mind.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then this guy in Australia, jeez.
Well, I'm just thinking about all the emails that I get every day from companies saying that they want me to give my honest review,
Yeah,
no matter which way, good, bad, or whatever. We would like you to, give us your honest review.
yeah.
But do they really want the honest review?
Yeah, it depends on how expensive their attorney is, I
I
guess, huh?
guess so. Jeez.
Yeah. That is I had always felt, and especially in the firewood industry, it I it takes courage, and I think it speaks highly of the manufacturer to say, "Here's this machine, videotape it, and put it on,"
Yep.
you know? Because what if your machines are junk? You know, I mean, the world's going to, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It speaks highly of the firewood industry with these manufacturers. And I'm thinking of Easton Made, Wolf Ridge, Yappa, you know, that say, here it is. Well, not necessarily, but they're saying, here it is and have at it. Um, like with Andrew Easton, I can speak to this, you know, my, I had, when I first had my Axis, I was doing a live stream with it and it broke down. And I felt, you know, it was embarrassing. It was like 2 feet tall. And I had texted Andrew and he called me. I told him what happened. I was like, I feel awful. He goes, hey, don't worry about it. He said, it's a machine.
Yeah.
Machines break and it's all part of the thing. You know, I have no problem with anything. You know, and that's the way Andrew is. He says, here it is. You won't hear a word out of me. You know,
Right.
show the good, show the bad, show what it can and cannot do. And like with Bob Nelson, I haven't really worked, you know, with Wolf Ridge other than with that one splitter. But you know, I didn't really go into depth with it.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying with these firewood companies. I think they operate on a different level.
Yeah, I was gonna say with working with Bob and Chris and Andrew as well, all of them, uh, same thing, you know, same message. Use it. If anything happens, show it. It doesn't matter because I think they realize that if you do have a breakdown or something does go wrong, that gives them then the opportunity to showcase their customer service and how well they take care of the problem.
Yeah,
And you know, and that, I think that's a big factor when it comes into something like having a log splitter and knowing that if something does go wrong, you've got people there that can get you the parts you need, tell you how to fix it, whatever.
right. My Yappa, I remember it blew a hose at um, 30 hours, and you know, it didn't come loose where you just have to snug it up. All firewood processors, you do that.
Yeah.
But it blew the hose at 30 hours. And I was like, well, he's like, oh, show it. You know, show it. It's a machine. They break, they blow hoses, and we'll show
Yeah.
how we fix it then. Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think that's what also speaks volumes about those companies you mentioned is that they're run by people who know stuff's going to break, know stuff can go wrong, but then they realize the opportunity to show, how they handle that. I mean, I know some companies out there who put out content, but they don't allow any comments on it on their videos, or they don't allow
Uh,
anything to be written. Like on Facebook, they turn comments off. It's like, well, wait a minute.
yeah.
Why don't you want anyone saying anything?
Yeah. And that gets my rusty wheel is grinding because I have turned down a number of items in my 3-ish years of being an influencer where we just couldn't come to an agreement where they would say, well, we want you to say, and they give you a list of bullet points.
Yep.
And we want to approve the video before you put it up. And I was like, nah, ain't gonna do it. But then that makes me wonder, maybe those are the kind of companies that are like that because they have these strings attached and they're trying, you know, to gloss, you know, to make their product look better
Right.
than the real world, which I have always felt is the appeal of YouTube.
Yeah. The real world experience from real people using it, and the companies that want to see everything beforehand and don't and give you the talking points, those are the ones that probably have the lawyers waiting as well.
Yeah, I look at it from risk management, you know, too. If I think it helps if you're broke, then they're not going to bother suing you.
That's a very good point. Yes.
Yeah, I was just thinking the other day, I doubled the value of my pickup truck. I doubled its price because I filled the fuel tank up. So that tells you
Yeah.
that tells you all the money I have. Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
that's why this problem with the lawyers and the reviews and everything hasn't hit the firewood niche because they know no nobody making firewood videos got anything to go
Yeah.
after.
Yeah, if we all had money, we would heat with gas. We'd have a propane
Oh,
tank on the side of our house. Jeez.
oh
Yeah,
my.
but how about that though? Is that gosh, that
Oh,
just well, I'm gonna also say too, I mean, it's eye-opening because I don't think I am high risk, knock wood here, with the way I do my reviews. But like that one guy from the solar niche, his name's Will Prouse. He's awesome. And man, he just slams stuff if they deserve it. And he's got the industry's attention because whatever he recommends, sells out.
oh yeah.
Yeah. So, but there's been other stuff, where he just he tears stuff apart physically and then verbally. If it's junk or if it's
It's
awesome, I mean,
right.
he but it just makes me wonder if someone like him, if he's had to lawyer up or something. If
Well,
you
but
look at
that's
his channel, he has a bunch of disclaimers in his description too, which is something I've never taken any steps
right.
towards.
But then where does the whole free speech, come into play? Like, are you not allowed to say what you feel and think? I mean, that's where I'm like wondering how this would even have any grounds to stand on at all.
Yeah. So, well, I guess you can be sued at any time for anything. Free freedom of speech is between you and the government, So if it's between two private entities, I guess you got to
Yeah,
let the
I suppose.
courts figure that out. But that's always been like, the legal standard for like slander or liable,
Yeah,
which is written is truth. If you can prove that you were being truthful about it, you know, like if I was going around town telling everyone that you were a terrible wrestler and you got pinned in all your matches, and then you sue me for defaming you, then I would prove that I was being truthful.
well, you wouldn't be able to do that. I have like 184 VHS tapes full of matches,
Yeah.
most of
You
them
told
victories.
you told me that you knew the lighting and rafters of every auditorium in your area from being pinned so many times.
Most major high schools and armories in the Midwest. I can tell you how many lights on each ceiling.
Yeah. Now, okay, but here we are in the United States, and there's like rules though. This is maybe we shouldn't do this in a podcast here because I don't know what they are. I just do what I think
Yeah, are
is
we going to
honest
have the
and right.
FTC coming after us here
Yeah, really.
talking about
But
this?
but there was I forwarded it to you. You were going to look for it on the internet. Um, was it a current or a recent FCC rule or like a new one that just came out or a current one?
Yes.
Why don't you share that? Now, let's give the disclaimer here that Joe and Dan and the Woodhounds Podcast Inc. are
Yes. Give this
not
disclaimer.
responsible for misrepresentation of
We don't
federal
know what
law.
we're talking
Yeah.
about here,
Okay.
but
Or
yeah.
that. Go ahead.
So it was the final rule on buying positive or negative reviews. The rule prohibits businesses from providing compensation or other incentives conditioned on the writer of customer reviews expressing a particular sentiment, either positive or negative. It clarifies that the conditional nature of the offer of compensation or incentive may be expressly or implicitly conveyed. So what does that mean?
Thanks for tuning into the
Yeah,
Woodhounds.
I have no idea what I just read, but
No, does that is are they saying that if a company pays you to review their item, that they cannot tell you that it must be a good review or you must slam this item?
I that's what I kind of read between the lines on it.
Uh-huh.
Um,
That they
so
can't come with strings attached, that it has to be
yes,
an honest review.
so they can't say, "Here's X number of dollars. You have to say this." That's
Okay.
how I kind of read it,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
I would think though, I think if a company were to say, "Well, here is this log splitter. When you review it, could you please comment on, the engine size or, the ease of moving it around the yard,
Yeah,
you
I
know.
yeah, I don't
But
know what.
is that different than saying, now I want you to say that this splitter is awesome and it's way better than competitors splitter X?
That's what I think it's hitting at. That's where I think it's aimed for something
Uh-huh.
like that. But again,
Interesting.
I don't.
Are
I'm not
you
sure.
do you have a link to that? Do you think we could put that in the description? Maybe if we have a woodhound attorney out there can put this into layperson's
Yeah,
terminology.
we can probably do that.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody
All right.
email us and tell us what the heck we were just talking about.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah,
All I
well, it
know
sounded
is
good.
no more reviews on my channel. I'm done.
Yeah, right. Yeah, as soon as you get your next portable power station or what's the other ones that we always get? Our
E-bikes.
spray e-bikes and spray paint, airless
Oh,
airless paint sprayers. Good
there's
heavens. Silverware, sheeting,
jewelry.
beds,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
mattresses.
Yeah, there's been a real like change in lately. It's been a lot of really off the topic items.
Yeah,
Just crazy.
to totally agree. They're always written in poor English, and they say, "Dear," and there's a blank space where they forgot to put your name in, and then they'll say, "We love your content. We watch your channel all the time.
Yeah, they're big
We
fans of my channel, even
yeah,
though I mean I don't see a change in my views.
yeah. We feel that our product is perfect for your channel. Please review our bedroom slippers," you know?
We think this would be a great fit for you and your audience.
Right.
Oh
Oh
my.
yeah. Well, okay. Let's try to remember too. I want to check out that guy's YouTube channel. He does these reviews on these home inspections. Very eye-opening.
Yeah.
And then I think this YouTuber from Australia is pretty popular. I think if you were to just Google or type into YouTube about Australian solar lawsuit, I'm sure it would come right up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'll get that link over so we can put that in the description and have that, you know, for legal people out there to tell us what it really means.
Yeah. And Dan will put his home address in there. So if you need to serve legal papers to him, you can just take it straight to his house.
Oh
Yeah,
goodness.
boy. All right, Dan. Well, how about let's strike up the band and let's get busy because my phone's ringing, man.
Yeah, I've got a couple things I need to go change in my videos that I just reviewed something on.
You got to put in disclaimers
I got
under.
I got to
Yeah.
go reshoot.
Yeah. This product is awesome.
This is great. I love it.
Yeah. I loved how it fell into three pieces.
Yes, this is
Uh-huh.
exactly what I planned.
Yeah. All right, Dan, strike up the band and let's go.
All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in and making the Woodhounds the #1 firewood podcast in the world. We'll see you back here each and every Wednesday morning at 5 a.m. on your favorite streaming service.
Yeah, and if you would please consider giving us a review, and preferably a 5-star review, unless you want to hear from our attorneys.
Yes.
So, Dan, how about this? How about let's remain,
Legal.
stay,
uh, stay safe.
and have
A great day. And please don't sue us.